Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond Earth News. I'm your host, David, and with me is my co-host, Zach. Today, I wonder what we're going to go over.
So we're going to be talking about the new Ariane 6 rocket, its recent maiden flight, and we're just going to go over a bit of its capabilities.
Excellent. Let's dive in.
The maiden flight of the Ariane 6 launched from the European spaceport located in French Guiana in South America. Liftoff occurred at 4 p.m. local time, with the engines of the first stage and the rocket's two boosters pushing the rocket into the sky. With the launch, designated VA-262, Europe once again has a launch vehicle in service. Ariane 6, a heavy lift-capable rocket, is replacing the Ariane 5, which had its final launch a year ago. Their latest small-lift rocket, the Vega C, has been out of service since 2022, though an original Vega was able to launch in October of 2023.
The test flight mission included multiple reignitions of the upper stage's Vinci engine. The initial ignition occurs after stage separation, helping to boost the spacecraft further into orbit. A reignition would occur to round out its flight into an orbit where it would deploy several CubeSats. A final ignition of the engine would occur toward the end of the mission to flip and slow down the spacecraft to help bring it out of orbit and to allow it to deploy two more payloads. Those payloads are capsules meant to test their ability to return through the Earth's atmosphere. The flight went nominally until it came time for the final reignition. It appears that a small power unit shut itself off for unknown reasons. With the final engine relight being called off, the last two payloads were not deployed, and the final stage was left to drift in orbit. The shutoff of the power unit is sure to be investigated before another Ariane 6 is launched.
Despite the anomaly at the end of the mission, European space leadership sees the mission as a success. ESA General Director Joseph Aschbacher had the following to say: "A completely new rocket is not launched often, and success is far from guaranteed. I am privileged to have witnessed this historic moment when Europe's new generation of the Ariane family lifted off, successfully, effectively reinstating European access to space. An inaugural launch is a huge undertaking from thousands of people who have worked relentlessly for years. To see it perform wonderfully at the first attempt is testament to their dedication and a demonstration of European excellence in engineering and technology. Heartfelt thanks go to the teams at ESA, CNES, Ariane Group, and Ariane Space for their hard work to get to this point. I also want to sincerely thank our member states for having enabled and supported the Ariane 6 program along the way. Not always easy, but the endurance shown has paid off handsomely today." With Ariane 6, Europe can rely on their own vehicles to reach orbit. During the year-long gap between Ariane 6 and 5, they've had to rely on other providers such as SpaceX. They were no longer able to use Soyuz as an alternative option due to the souring relations between Europe and Russia.
The Ariane 6 comes in two variants. The first is called the Ariane 6-2, or A62, and the second is the Ariane 6-4, or A64. It's easy to tell these two different rockets apart, as the A62 has two boosters and the A64 has four. The maiden flight was an A62. The A62 is capable of putting 10,350 kilograms or 22,820 pounds into low Earth orbit. This technically puts this variant into the medium-lift rocket category, which are rockets with a maximum lift capacity to LEO between 2,000 and 20,000 kilograms. However, the A64 variant is capable of lifting 21,650 kilograms or 47,730 pounds into LEO, making this variant part of the heavy lift category, which is max lift between 20,000 and 50,000 kilograms to LEO. That's in comparison with SpaceX's Falcon 9, which can do between 17,690 kilograms to 22,679 kilograms, depending on if the first stage lands or is expended. Both variants are able to carry payloads into lunar transfer orbit, with the A64 able to carry between 8,600 kilograms or 19,000 pounds to the moon. This opens the door for European-led and launched uncrewed missions to the moon.
The launch is a culmination of decades of design and manufacture and an estimated cost of around 4 billion euros. It also hasn't been without delays. with the original test flight scheduled for 2020. A more recent setback saw the switch of a satellite launch for Europe's weather satellite operator EUMETSAT switch from Ariane 6 to a Falcon 9. The announcement caused shock and anger among Europe's space leadership.
So, what's the future look like for Ariane 6? Well, if they're able to quickly resolve the issues with the power supply, hopefully they'll be able to make their second planned launch later this year. There are a dozen planned launches for 2025 and 2026. There's also a contract with Amazon to launch the Kuiper satellite constellation, which will require 18 launches. As for launch cadence, the plan is for 12 launches per year.
There it is, the first launch of the Ariane 6. I'm pretty sure European leadership is quite excited to have their own launch vehicle again, especially the heavier lift one. I know that they're kind of looking to be a bit more independent when it comes to space travel. They're developing their own crewed vehicles, so I'm sure this is a step in that direction to being able, to launch Europeans on their own spacecraft. Hopefully this little issue gets resolved quickly so we can have them get that second launch and more launches beyond. And overall, I'm excited for another rocket, another way for humanity to get beyond Earth. But what about you? What do you think on this?
Yeah, like you mentioned, I think that as long as the issue isn't major and doesn't cause any humongous delays,
Yeah.
hopefully they'll be able to keep on track for the rest of their planned launches and get the issue resolved quickly. It's always exciting to get another vehicle into space, and this one able to get to the moon as well. So things are looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll get everything fixed up soon. That's all from us, though. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you leave a comment down below.
All right, so you know what time it is. Please like and subscribe for more Beyond Earth news.
Thanks for watching.